247 Radio, GT in the Mornings radio show. We have some issues going on here in the studio. And we're going to go ahead and get everything settled up for you guys. Don't forget, like I said before, we have superstardom.wordpress.com creator and fashion insider Shara coming on air with us this morning. Shara will be here 15 past the top of the hour, so make sure you guys are tuned in for that. I can't wait. Today, Miss Shara, the creator of Superstardom blog. Shara, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Are you upset this morning or something?
No, I'm great.
That's good. That's good then. I'm glad. We are so happy that you took some time out of your busy schedule to be a part of the show today. So I thank you for that. We do thank you for that. What's been going on? Like, are you a question that one of our fans had that they emailed to us, and you guys, if you have a question, you want to email it to us really quick, you can email us gtinthemornings@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at gtinthemornings. One of the questions they sent in was, where did you come up with the name of Superstardom?
That's actually a pretty funny story. Well, I use Super Shara for my Twitter handle. It's a name that I came up with when I used to teach a summer camp. Mm-hmm. We had these super stickers, and for some reason, Shara is a difficult name for kids to say. So I picked a sticker over the which is Super Shara, so that's what everyone called me. And then I was coming up with a blog. I came up with a sports blog first, and I was like, ooh, what should I name it? So I kind of posed a question on Twitter, and someone said Superstardom. So it just kind of stuck ever since then. So it's just like a play on words, Super Shara, Superstardom. So yeah.
I do actually like the name, and I love the blog site, and I've told you this many times before. And I don't think you really believe me, but I do actually follow it pretty closely, and I watched all the videos from when you were sitting outside of when you occupying H&M is what the blog title was. How was that experience, or what exactly were you out there doing?
Oh, that was a crazy experience. We camped out, me, my friend Sue, and her friend Paige. We camped out for Versace for H&M, which is a diffusion line because, as you know, Versace is very expensive. Even the Versus line is very expensive. So they came out with a line in collaboration with H&M. Mm-hmm. And so you're getting Versace for, at the most, $300. You can get dresses for $150, leggings for $30. So, I mean, this is epic. You know, it's an epic day for people who can't afford the real Versace. So we camped out because we know it's going to sell out. We camped out. When I got off of work that day, I think that was a Friday. When I got off of work that day at 5 and I went to H&M, people were already camped out. Like, it was a big deal. So me and my friends, we got out there around 10:30, and we were there all night. It was so cold, and we only had, this little blanket. And this was our first time camping out, so we didn't dress accordingly. We had on I had on a sweater, but I had on little leggings. I had on leather Converses, not prepared at all for a night of camping out. So,
now this is in Chicago though, right?
Yes, on Michigan Avenue, right on Michigan Avenue, that H&M over there.
Wow. And if you've never been to Chicago, and if you've never been to the H&M store on Michigan Avenue, it's right by Lakeshore Drive. You could probably actually see the lake if you go to the corner of, what is that, Michigan and Chestnut?
Yeah,
I think something like that. You could probably see the lake from there, and I'm sure the lake was freezing at night and the wind blowing back in inland or whatever. A question for you though, with the Versace line being at H&M, do you think it's cheapening, if that's even a word, the Versace line?
No, because it's not. It's kind of showing you what you could have if you have Versace. Is not going to be the same quality. It's not going to be, the expensive soap from China. It's not going to be, all of her aesthetics. She's just giving you a taste. So I don't think it cheapens it. They're actually doing another line with them for spring, but it's only going to be online. So H&M, they don't have a U.S. e-commerce site, so we can't get that line. We'll have to like buy it off of eBay or whatever the case may be. But I don't think it cheapens anything. I think it's actually a good thing because at the end of the day, there's people like me who have student loans that they have to pay and cannot afford to pay $1,000 for anything right now. So it almost like opens up the consumer. Like it opens up people who like never shopped Versace before or never thought to shop Versace. It opens them up to this diffusion line, and maybe that one day when they do have enough money, they will go back to Versace because they remember what they got when the diffusion line came out.
The only Versace line that I've ever purchased was the bedding. It was a queen, like a queen mattress set with the sheets and the sham and things like that. That's the only Versace I've ever purchased. But I've always looked at Versace for men as the big gaudy silk shirts that the mafia bosses always wear and things like that. So I never, I actually have not seen the Versace line at H&M. When did it come out?
It came out on the 19th.
Also, recently.
Yeah, it came out the 19th in the U.S. and it came out the 17th, like in London and stuff. So overseas, it came out the 17th, and here it came out the 19th. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's sold out. There's a lot on eBay though. I have some stuff on eBay that you should go get, actually.
Well, you can give us your eBay link or site once we're closing out the interview. But I do want to get into the reason why you are on air with us this morning. As people know, and as you know, this Friday is Black Friday. Now, I've never really been into Black Friday as much as I am right now, only because you're on the show, especially for this today. But I do have a question. What do I get a girl for the holidays? Because everybody knows the economy is the way it is. Let's get over it. Budgets are a little bit tighter. Wallets are a little bit tighter. My wallet don't look like a Bible or anything like that, but it's a little bit of money in there. So I have a little bit of money to spend, but I want to spend it in a smart way. I want to spend it wisely. So where can I shop, to get a woman a nice gift, or this is a younger, like our age. What can I do? Where can I go to get anything, or where are the sales going to be at?
I think if you're getting a woman a gift, I think perfume is also always a nice gift. I know that Macy's will be having sales. I don't know as far as their perfume. I know Ulta is going to be having sales. Sephora, if you have a Sephora in Las Vegas, you can go there. One of the perfumes that I just smelled recently that I think is great is the BCBG, and it's really not that expensive. It's a beautiful bottle, and it smells delicious. Like, if you put this on this girl, you'll be like all on her neck. So definitely check out that BCBG.
Okay.
And yeah.
So perfume would, can't go wrong with perfume. Is basically what you're saying. Okay.
You can't go wrong unless you get something that smells hideous.
Now with it being okay, now with fashion, it's kind of like always like the fall fashion shows are in like a fashion show that maybe last week they're previewing the spring line, not necessarily the winter line, right?
Correct.
So it's kind of like you have to be fashion forward, I guess you can say. Do you have to be the same way with perfumes too? Because you don't want to buy a perfume that you give somebody on Christmas and it's like a winter perfume, but then winter's almost over. So do you do the same thing with the perfume that you do with fashions?
I don't think so, because like you just said, you don't want to get someone a perfume that is completely floral. I mean, floral, what does that remind you of? It reminds you of spring. So you want to go with something that's maybe like a little more earthy, maybe has like the sense of wood more, and just like earthy things. So I think the ones that are always good for fall are like Chanel, Dolce & Gabbana, like things like that, because they always have certain ones that it can be for spring, but they always have the like classic. So you should go for like classic perfume. So that's never gonna like treat you wrong. It's never gonna steer you in the wrong direction if you go for a classic perfume like Marc Jacobs or something like that. So those names I think are always safe. Now, if you get into more of like the celebrity perfumes, then I think you have to smell those because they're not classic. They kind of like, they don't really go by seasons or anything like that. They kind of just, oh, I'm a celebrity, so I make perfume, that type of thing. So, and I think if you stay more closely to the designer perfume, then you'll be fine. And if you want to try a new perfume, then you definitely need to smell it and see how it smells and, see what the earth tones, the undertones of the perfume are. It's,
So the perfumes that the dude with the long trench coat is selling out there on Las Vegas Boulevard or the Strip or West State Street, you guys, don't purchase those. Go to Macy's.
You might break out. Don't do that.
Go to Macy's. Go to the stores this weekend. There's going to be dynamic sales. You said Macy's is one, and then kind of research your malls too, because I'm sure there's BCBG stores in the mall where you live at. I know there's a few in Chicago actually, and I know there's some out here in Vegas, and definitely some in New York City. Okay, so
and,
go ahead.
This year, the mall in Rockford, at least, is opening up at 12 a.m. So, it's for people who do not want to get up at 4 a.m. and shop the deals. Now you have the convenience of, just staying up all night and going to the mall at 12 a.m. or going to the mall at 1 a.m. So, I think it's more convenient this year for you to go to the mall or go to your favorite store at 12 a.m. and get what you need.
I didn't know that. That's good to know. Cherryville Mall in Rockford, you guys, is opening up at midnight rather than 4 a.m. like some of the other stores. And I kind of need to get some electronics for this Black Friday. But back onto the fashions, where do you see fashion as far as what trends do you see for the spring? Because some people might not follow the fashion shows like you do. But a person like myself, I like to think ahead and make sure I have my wardrobe all set up for the spring. That way I don't scramble around and have to pay so much for last minute spring items like in February or March. So I can possibly start getting some of the colors now. What do you see fashion for spring 2012?
Well, there's definitely a lot of, it went back to the pastels. There's a lot of, beiges and the light pinks and the light purples, the lilac. So I'm excited for that because I love those colors. I definitely love pastels. There was a lot of, I'm trying to remember because you threw me off. I didn't think that you were going to talk about spring because even though I did look at most of the things, there's a lot of different things. Burberry did a thing with a lot of tribal, African tribal, which I love. It's so nice. Chanel did a lot of very, like I said, pearly colors, the white, the pearly white and the light colors. Let me think of some others. There's a lot of suits I saw, a lot of people tailored suits for women. So a lot of menswear inspired, which I love. I love menswear.
You know what? I will chime in on that. I'm a huge fan of suits, you guys. And if you ever want to buy me a suit, you can email me for my sizes and things like that, people. But I'm a huge fan of suits. And you had on your blog the GQ Man of the Year. Jay-Z was on there. He had on a nice fitted suit. And I really like that style of suit. And I think we need to get to that style rather than the styles of, the long jacket and the patterns and stuff like that. We need to put those aside and get back into the classy type of simple, elegant, but yet stylish suits like he was wearing.